the big top with Atlas and Spawn.
Thank you very much, Pastry Time, and welcome back, everyone, to the big top. And this is potentially the final game. But Legacy, you're not looking that stupid, Pastry Time. Don't say things like that, because Legacy have come back from 0-2s before.
Yeah, they certainly have. So if any team was going to do it, it would be Legacy. But I just want to hit on a couple of things that the desk mentioned. Carbon needs to get off Nunu. Right now, he is one of the energetic players of the lineup as we take a look at the Chiefs. And you cannot fight Elise as Nunu. I said it in before it even came through. She will just outright kill you, so you always have to avoid the jungle, which is not what Carbon wants to do. And the second thing is, Minky Whale is playing brutally melee champions that can get kited. And Minky Whale is so good when he is on overly aggressive tanks, because he just absorbs so much damage, and he never got to that point on Tahm Kench. I really want to see him go back towards something like a Hecarim, like Shen, and just try and take over a map. See if he can become this huge, annoying frontline, absorb all that damage, because right now, Wally and Choose are trying real hard to dig the team out of a hole.
And Choose, he owned the mid-game of that game, flat out. He just did, moving around the map, picking up kills with every frozen tomb that he had available, but it was just the Chiefs able to outlast it. And with Swiper there on the top lane, especially after that team fight that you noted was easily the turning point of that game in full favor of the Chiefs, it's on the back of Minky Whale to stay in the game and for Choo Choos and Wally just to do the same thing.
Well, the problem was that Choose felt like he had to initiate, and he was the fed one, because you've got a Tahm Kench. He's not an initiator. He runs at you. Like, you just walk away from him.
Or swims at you under the
whatever
rift.
He does, he kind of waddles. And then you've got Nunu. He's not an initiator. Unless they get the Miracle Bind from Claire, who, by the way, was throwing out a couple of Miracle Bindings, Choose always had to be the person that was going in. And that just meant that he, if he misstepped a little bit, was always the first person that took so much damage, and therefore they were losing too much of their gold up front in team fights.
Yeah, not quite working out, but we are into Champion Select, ladies and gentlemen, as Legacy going to pick up the blue side this time around, immediately banning Twisted Fate as the Chiefs going to remove Rek'Sai one more time. Carbon, probably not going to see that one. Legacy, actually a blue side Elise ban. So Spook's not going to be on that one, but I would have expected they left that open and let Carbon run around the rift on his signature champion.
Obviously have something else in mind with a blue side pick ban phase coming through.
Sivir going to be banned away here as the Chiefs take that one off the board.
Rek'Sai gone means that Carbon is once again probably going to be left.
He can play Gragas
on the Nunu pickup. Definitely can play Gragas, but just has shown that he prefers Nunu over that champion.
Yeah, almost shows that he prefers Nunu over anyone else ever. And now without Elise, it may not necessarily be as bad. Legacy, blue side Kalista ban.
Yeah, this is the other thing I want to talk about. Radier has been playing Corki, Jinx, Lucian. Hasn't been playing Kalista. Had one game of it, I think, in like the last 3 weeks, and it's been tapped. Just put Wally on something that's a little bit more mid-game centric and see if you can take the laning phase. Once again, take a Morgana, lock him down. Very squishy there. Instead, they're giving up one of their bans that they could throw at a priority pick, like a Fizz, for example, to a Kalista, which we haven't even seen win games so far.
Well, Minky Whale considering...
We're going to see a Yasuo comp. I know it.
He's picking up the Braum, of course. That Unbreakable pairs up quite well with a Wind Wall. We'll see whether it does actually come down as Spooks hovering a Nidalee, which, if what we're thinking is going to happen, not exactly the best option.
No, it certainly isn't, but one of Spooks' better junglers will once again look for a skirmish playstyle. Elise and Nidalee, Spooks is actually very proactive on. Very reactive jungler, and everything else likes to use vision, but on the two champions where he feels he can impact lanes, never hesitant to go in. Evelyn is also another pickup here that Spooks could go towards. Not going to happen. As much as I would love it, guys, there's just no reason to not play.
Okay, that's definitely not going to happen. But it is going to be Janna locked in and Gragas taken away, so Carbon can't default back to that, and Ejim on the disengage support herself.
Yeah, the double disengage, you know, the big reset button. If Swiffer or if the Chiefs in general ever get it wrong, they can just re-engage a fight, make sure that the second looks much better than the first, then the third looks better than the second if it gets to that point.
And then what does the fourth look like?
Probably one team dead.
Yeah, good point. Carbon, considering a Lee Sin, Slightly scraping the bottom of the barrel as far as the jungle picks are concerned. Galio jungle would definitely be an optimistic choice, as they're now cycling through some picks, and Choo Choo's, he's calm and collected. He's not cycling through craziness like Carbon is.
Certainly is not. Carbon, very old school Lee Sin player, has locked it in.
Yep, there it is. And Choo Choo's going to lock away the Corki. Wally Thacker is another one of these legacy Corki players. I mean, he's very, very young, so not a whole lot of legacy, apart from the fact that he plays for the team, but plays a lot of it and is very, very good at the champion.
Certainly isn't. Now this just, it makes even less sense for them to ban Kalista over Fizz, because if they are looking for a Yasuo comp, they can just pick for it and see... Leave the Fizz in the top lane, because he just answers the split push so well. Fizz has always been a really good answer to Yasuo.
Yeah. And this Yorick, I feel, is just taunting you right now, Spawn.
It wasn't the Yorick, it was the dude that yelled, "Just do it." Completely destroyed concentration. That's all right.
No, it's fantastic. Thank you very much, guys. Well, Chiefs only with 9 seconds to go. Swiffer moves over to the Lulu, and Radier back on the Lucian as well. Glitterlance for everyone, as Radier is on his most played champion, the champion that got him to rank 1 in the first place. Oh my goodness, Wally Thacker, of course, trying to give the Chiefs some nightmares.
And this is, I just want to highlight how good the Chiefs draft has been so far. Double disengage. They blind pick the mid lane over the top lane to once again set Swiper up for success, because Swiffer on the current meta, we said it pre-game, is happy to play Orianna Lulu into anything. He doesn't care what's in the lane, because you just force people to play against creep waves, which puts you at a huge advantage. And now Choose has to play an assassin, because you know he wants to carry into a nullifying lane. And Sminky Whale one more time needs to blind pick top.
I really want Shyvana right now. If Legacy are going to come back, he needs to be a huge dragon. Wally, he is going to pick away the Varus for Choo Choo's, and the Shen finally in for Minky Whale. So Legacy baking out on the Yasuo comp, and we'll see how the Chiefs react to what is another poke comp, but this time on Legacy's side.
Yeah, so a very big poke comp coming through there. They have the Unbreakable, as well as Braum ulti, Lee Sin kick for the disengage. A little bit of a different feel right now out of Legacy. They peak real early in the game. Lee Sin, Braum, Corki, as well as Varus, all really good at 1 and 2 items. So we're going to have to see whether they can get it going much earlier this time around.
Swiper has been playing a lot of this champion, guys. Not sure whether it's going to be picked up here, as the Hecarim is going to be locked in. This is Swiper's grand final, Spawn. I'm willing to say that right now. His Maokai came out, his Fizz, now his Hecarim. Everything on display for the top laner of the Chiefs. And that is a frightening team comp.
Certainly is, and once again, a third different team comp coming through. A very big Protect the Radier comp. Double disengage Lulu to augment all the damage. And then Swiper can do his own thing. He can look for flanks. He can push out top lane. Try and bully Minky around, who will be able to absorb much more punishment this game.
Yeah.
But you can see the concentrating look. Minky, as well as that man Carbon, not on the Nunu anymore. Going to need to have fantastic games for the Legacy to start the miracle.
Yeah, and you can see the looks on Legacy's faces as well. It's still determination. This is crunch time. This is the last game that they have
like to
get
play
back
League of
in
Legends.
Yeah, this is when they like to do it. 3 seconds on the clock before we're about to get onto the Rift. And the Chiefs, they can smell victory. They can smell an undefeated split and finals run.
29-0.
That is a lot of video game victories, Spawn.
It would be an absolutely brilliant run if the team was able to do it. Still not having dropped a game with Ejim in a Chiefs jersey.
True.
And looking to keep the streak alive.
And we'll see this game where the Legacy still have it in them, whether winter is indeed coming to the Chiefs. Because this is the situation. This is exactly the time, Spawn. And Legacy, if they're going to do it, they're going to do it right now. And they have to, of course, because, look, there's no other option.
No other time to do it. They do it right now or Chiefs win.
Yeah, and then they pick up that trophy right there. Well, we'll see whether they can actually do it as we are about to proceed onto the Rift. And Swiper on the Hecarim. You've got Varus coming out of Choo Choo's. We've seen his skill shots have been out of control. His ability to position himself this game has been most definitely on point. Yeah. But we are going to have slight delay as we hop onto the Rift. It will be very, very soon before we are into our third match of this grand final and potentially the decider for the Chiefs.
Have to see whether Chiefs are able to execute on their team comp. Once again, Gragas, Janna, they seem kind of counterintuitive to each other. Double knockbacks, displacements going everywhere. You have to have very clear communication. Short range AD carry. This is something that SKT like to run a lot. Faker and Bang combo on the Lulu Lucian coming through there. And we'll have to see whether they're able to build Radier up as they have all season long to have success.
Well, we'll see whether they can do it, of course. The problem is, Ejin one more time, just struggling to log onto the Rift. We are just going to quickly reboot and get him on there so we can get this game underway as soon as possible. But one thing I did want to talk to you about, Spawn, is the fact that, you know, Monsoon Explosive Cast, it's this fantastic combination of disengage like you were just explaining. But is Poke a decent answer to that?
Yeah, it certainly is. You're able to really set up a lot of what you want to do before the fight happens. Yeah. It's just once... Poke is this strange thing that unless you can outright kill people, and the damage is really predictable because you like take an arrow and you're like, that's how much it does. Then you take another 2 and you're like, I can't take another 1. I'm going to back to base. So at that point, Minky has to fly in there with Carbon, and that's when all the disengage comes through. The big reset button. Janna, fantastic against Poke because of the heal on the back of the Monsoon as well. So just when you think you have them where you want them, they're full health, you're on the back foot and they're re-engaging on you. So need to be careful. And Hecarim is a fantastic answer to Poke because he's able to look for the home guard flanks incredibly early in the game because you generally get boots 2 and home guards as your first purchase on Hecarim and make sure that you can shut down any of their setup. Just disrupt the backline and allow everyone else to get in amongst it.
Yeah, and you're not likely to have a Shen shutting down the farming experience of a Hecarim as well. We'll see whether Legacy do decide to go for some sort of lane swap situation. And how do you feel about that considering this bottom lane matchup?
Shen is so good in lane swap situations. I would expect Legacy to want to go the 1v1 though to make sure Wally and Claire are able to get it.
Quick pause, ladies and gentlemen. We are finally at least onto the Rift with a sepia tone just to see how it looks in this color. I think it looks pretty good.
Certainly did.
Yeah, I like it. We don't get to see the gray screen. We only get that at home.
So I see that. I like seeing the, don't worry the sepia. About it.
Yeah, actually,
PTSD. Just take it away.
I'm confused that some people think that the game is in color. I don't know. It might be my monitor.
Maybe.
Yeah. Seem to not be able to move as well as a permanent countdown timer. But that's neither here nor there. We're here to watch Legacy versus Chiefs and to see whether the Chiefs are going to be able to take it in a 3-game series. Of course, Rusty and Rymeister have both predicted that that is going to be the outcome.
But everyone that predicted Legacy to win said it would be a 3-2. They just...
Yeah. This is when they play well, when it's all on the line.
So you either expect the Chiefs to come in here with the broom, finish off the season nicely, sweep everything.
Yep.
Or you expect Legacy to just hang in there, fight through, maybe push it to a 5th game.
Well, this is their opportunity to, as we are onto the Rift for Legacy versus Chiefs. This time, Legacy in blue. As Radier is not going to be able to kill that ward. No amount of attack speed runes is going to be able to get that one for you there, Radier. As Legacy, you can hear the chants from the crowd. We want more games here in the big top. But in goes Carbon. Spooks already tagged. First damage down. And you mentioned the fact that the energetic one on the side of Legacy is Carbon. Now that he doesn't have a snowball and instead he can get himself right in amongst it, things are looking better for Legacy already.
Yeah, we'll see how proactive Carbon wants to be in the early game. Lee Sin, the best early game jungler around, puts out so much damage.
Well, lots of backs after all of the preliminary vision has gone down. Legacy going to know whether anyone's going to be entering via the top side of the map. Not many entrances to the Chiefs jungle.
And they initiate the lane swap right now. Do not want to go up against the Janna Lucian. Very heavy bully lane. Instead send Wally and Claire into the top lane. And Minky going to see how much damage he can absorb.
Yep, that is generally what he does, Spawn. As of course, Lucian commonly picked into the Corki just because he can get out of the way of that phosphorus bomb. That's
oh wow,
the
they
bit
think
that
it's a 2v2 top lane. Legacy probably were expecting Chiefs to appear there. They have the deep vision, so they must know they're not, but they're not going for a lane freeze. Instead, they pick up the Gromp experience, and both teams commit to it.
But this is what we saw in Game 1. When it was a lane swap, the Chiefs and Legacy both fast pushed the heck out of it. So we'll see whether they're going to do the same thing again, try and accelerate the game, grab some extra global gold as quickly as possible as the poke battle in the mid lane. Both of these champions are very annoying to deal with.
Certainly are. Swiffer going to be able to nullify a lot of the damage, give back as good as he can get. Chu's not going to be able to budge the Lulu early on, you feel.
Not many people can. Swiffer actually fighting level 1 here as Swiper's in there. Spooks is there as well, but in goes Carbon. Turned around on top of him, has to flash away. Minky Well, his turn to try and enter the fray. Neither team finding anything other than a bit of damage.
Everyone backs away.
Just calm down.
Calm down. Swiper used the Ignite.
In goes, there's the flash body slam. The Ignite's down, no Glitter Lance. Once again,
actually,
no one gonna tag. Oh, Carbon finds it. Swiffer's gonna go down. Choo-choo's with first blood. They're not finished. 3 versus 2. The Chiefs able to get to safety. Sonic Wavy. No, that was cute, Carbon. You cheeky devil, you.
So they draw first blood. Choo-Choo's picks it up. That is going to be a ridiculously early tier on the Varus to get him rolling. And you just don't fight Lee Sin early. Choo's able to kite back to his side of the lane both times. And Chiefs a little bit over-aggressive, made pay.
Not to mention the fact that Legacy were pushing with 2 members on the top side of the Rift as well. So they've sacrificed some, I guess, time in the jungle. But Minky Well's able to get down to the bottom side. You mentioned Shen able to thrive here. Oh, Carbon. One more auto attack, red buff. No, not happening. Not this time. Carbon 1, red buff 0.
Let's call that a draw.
Okay, I'll pay that. Choo-Choo, though, hasn't been back to base yet. Swiffer did manage to pick up some consumables. We'll see whether Spooks is going to pay another visit to the Summoner Spell-less Varus by Choo-Choo's here in the mid.
As we mentioned, Varus with a huge early game advantage, double the CS. They'll grab first turret as well. Game couldn't have started any better for Legacy. Like, if they drew this up in the locker room, probably didn't even expect it to go this well.
Yeah, they're wondering whether that's the minimap or the minimap that they'd sketched earlier. So everything does seem to be falling into place. By 1,500 gold the lead for Legacy as Spooks looks to be giving up on his gank in the mid. Choo-Choo's, I wonder what he's waiting for as far as heading back to base. He just wants to keep the pressure on the mid lane, I assume. Hiding off to the side. Ejim actually taking a fair bit of damage from Minky Well there, who's relatively healthy in this lane. Doran shield and cloth armor.
And consumables, because he was a part of that first blood. Also got some creeps during the jungle follow.
Yep, Radio farming up very well though. Despite that, Wally Thacker still in the lead by just a little. Swiffer trying to speed himself up. Not zippy enough.
This time Spooks is on that side of the lane. Needs to be careful here.
Carbon does too. He's actually going to be able to steal away this red buff.
Yeah,
right under Spook's nose.
Each jungler getting a 2-buff start. This time Carbon getting one back.
Okay. Maybe I shouldn't have got that excited.
Nah, it was beautiful.
Says
he
Max
won the
all
war.
The time.
You know? They called it draw first time, came back for a revenge, Atlas. Perseverance is key.
Do you get revenge after a draw? That is the real question. We'll ask Carbon afterwards. Minky Well throwing some Vorpal Blades here on the bottom side. Claire just protecting him against any dives. Minky saying, we're not having another game like the first 2 guys. I'm not going 1 and 4.
And you can see, as he starts getting levels, this is why we kept calling out the Shen. Minky loves to take punishment. Yeah. Zip it A. And Shen just deals with it better than other top laners.
Yeah, it's just a little bit weird that he's a ninja. We're not
not
going to get
a little bit weird.
Yeah, we won't get into that discussion again. Both of us quite vocal in that area. Hail of Arrow is going to come down. Choo-Choo's looking for it. Oh, Piercing Arrow, not going to find it this time.
But does have the tier stacking up, has a longsword as well for a little bit more extra damage.
Speaking of extra damage.
Both junglers, once again, congregating around this mid lane. Best friend club all round.
Wow, in goes everyone onto Radier on the bottom side of the Rift. The Winter's Bite did land. They did get the stun, but the heal's going to be enough to save him for now. Ejim just body blocking. Ready to carry the flash from Claire, trying to get amongst it. Look at that shield from Ejim as Claire has nothing left. And Spooks finds his way in, but that was so close.
But he burnt all the summoner spells in the end. Radiant had to respect the flash. All of a sudden, the dive could come through from Carb and has been spotted out by Wolf Spirit.
Yep, it is going to dissipate now as Spooks just looking to defend the backs of the Chiefs bottom lane. Man, these games, the second one and the beginning of this one, everything, so much aggression and nothing happening.
Gold, though, is the lead right now for Legacy. Wally continuing to pressure Swiper, who hasn't got the level 6 yet, hasn't got Ninja Tab. He isn't able to deal with all of the harass coming through.
Once again, back to the mid. Swiffer and Choo Choo's just farming against one another. Choo's with a nice CS advantage.
Both mid's going to grab their respective blue buffs.
Yep. BF Sword completed here for Radier as well. No back just yet. Wally Thacker heading back towards his base, and he's going to be able to grab the Phage and the components of that Sheen. You're going to head back towards the bottom side of the Rift. So not having the fully completed Sheen is a big deal. I actually quite like Sheen and the components of Phage.
Yeah, I wonder why he went that way, because components of Sheen give you not very much.
Yeah. Phosphorus Bomb damage spawn, and
Technically,
more phosphorus bombs to throw down.
Yeah, but...
Really?
Yes, Atlas, really.
Yeah, cool.
No worries.
Claire, going to clear out what he can while he waits for Wally, but Spooks body slams himself to safety.
Flash Taunt was available.
Thank you, Al, not deciding to go for it.
See how this 2v2 goes now. Wally wants aggression.
Yeah, and he's got the level advantage as well. The Rocket's doing work. In he goes exactly as the Stand United comes down as well. Minky, he's not stopping underneath the turret. Ejim goes down. The third kill of the game. Minky juggles it, and Claire survives as well.
And because of the deep freeze that came through, Minky wasn't comfortable going top lane. He's like, I've seen this story one too many times. Instead, goes bottom, and they're going to be able to pick up the first dragon of the game.
Yep, Carbon already starts off the dragon here as well. Radier,
no summoner
his head around.
Just seeing if he can get a timer. Needs to be careful.
Yep, no culling either. Winter's Bite not going to find it, but the Rockets from Tallywhack are doing some work. I believe that was a big one as he took a lot of damage.
Ultimates are available. Teleport coming in.
Yeah, Chiefs trying to get in here.
All of a sudden, Swiper's split from the team.
Winter's Bite's down as well. He gets slowed. There's the onslaught of Shadows. Claire going to get feared, as is Minky well, but they're not the priority targets, and Chiefs can't find anything.
Burns an ultimate for nothing there, Swiper. Top lane farm has been pushed back into Minky's favor. Will be able to meander his way back up into the top lane and absorb all of that juicy CS. And Legacy finally.
Oh, there's the ultimate. The Chains of Corruptions for Choo Choo's. Swiffer still had Wild Growth, so I don't know why I was losing my mind there. Oh, the flash forward. There's the Glitter Lance, and Spooks tries to flash forward. Nice flash to get out of the complete disarray of that explosive cask, but Swiffer can't find it.
So in the end, fairly even trade. 2 summoner spells for 3. Choose gets the better of that one.
He would have liked to trade 3 for 3, but he just didn't have 3.
Yeah, I'm sure if he had a third one, he would have used it.
Yeah,
Cleanse.
Right. Well, Rift Sculler is going to fall as Spooks picks that one up. Almost towards that Cinder Hog, going for the Balmy Cinder. First off, another time around, does like that build.
And right now, Wally is a monster.
It's happening again, Spawn. It's Wally and Choo Choo's playing incredibly good League of Legends.
And Minky just on a comfort pick.
And a pick that really complements his style of the game. It's, I want to go in and I want them to hit me, please. And Shen is the epitome of that, like you mentioned before.
But it's 20 CS against Radier. Nearly the completed Trinity Force at only 11 minutes in. Mid lane turret nearly going to go down.
Yes, Ripper unable to continually keep that one pushed out. In goes the Winter's Bite as Legacy turning onto Radier.
And look at how much punishment Claire absorbs.
Yeah, it doesn't take a lot in any case. So honestly, this Legacy bottom lane, it's been a long time since we've seen the the Chiefs lose a bottom lane matchup. It's happened this time around, and Carbon coming through just to make sure that he can take down this outer turret in the mid lane. Spooks is here. Choo Choo's slowed, but
gold lead continues to grow, Atlas. 3,000 at 12 minutes in. Legacy finally get their early game together. Only one turret remains. It's in the bottom. Carbon's on his way.
Yep, there's the culling, but Unbreakable from Claire blocks the whole thing, keeps the minion wave alive.
Spooks is on the top side of the map. They know Carbon is there. Probably need to back away. They don't. Carbon gives up.
Yep, the Chiefs use their scrying orb, make sure that he's not waiting in the wings.
Oh, Choo's coming through.
Yep. He's got the ultimate available as well. Looking for Ejim. Flash from the Janna. Not even going to find the piercing arrow here as Legacy.
And all three outer turrets are going to be cleaned up, and none have fallen so far. Legacy continue to extend their early game lead, and the Chiefs look like they just want to play it slow.
Yeah, what have we mentioned about the Chiefs in the past, though? They've been able to take the proactive objectives in the early game. Not this time. And this has all been Legacy. Swiper going to get taunted underneath the turret. Spooks
dive coming through.
For the dive.
Would love that taunt back up.
Yeah, there's the body slam onto Minky. Gets knocked away from his tower as well. Onslaught of Shadows. That's going to be the kill for Swiper, the first one for the Chiefs.
Yeah, Swiffer was also in there, but tier 2 turret now under fire.
In goes Carbon, misses the Sonic Wave as Radio relentlessly pursues out of the way.
But they're going to get a lot of work done here.
Yeah, Ardent Blaze comes in from Radiant. Ejim lending him a hand. Legacy not going to be able to take the turret just yet. Choo Choo's comes around. Nice piercing arrow, but not going to find the mark just yet.
And that's a tier 2 going down.
Yep. Traded for the outer in the top lane, but
oh no, it will just stay up.
Oh wow, pick the gap did Choo Choo's there, but falls down.
There was a game during the regular split where Avant did this, where they just were like, we are not happy with how we're playing League of Legends.
We need to be more aggressive.
If we lose, we're going to lose going forward.
Yep.
And right now you can see the same look in Legacy's eyes. Do we back off? No, we continue to pressure objectives. If we lose, we're going to go out in style. And right now, 3,000 gold, still the advantage, doing a fantastic job at controlling the map.
Yeah, and look at the top lane as well. The fact that Minky now sitting at 1-1-1, has a Sunfire cape, able to build defensive statistics early on. He's going to be relevant at all stages of this game because he has to stand united, can always help out his team and move around the map. This is where Minky shines. We'll see whether he can carry that through on the back of this lead that they have in the early game. Nice dodge from Swiffer to avoid that piercing arrow.
Wally's got boots too, as well as Trinity Forts.
Whoa.
Legacy looking to see if they can collapse on Radiant bottom lane. Carbon's gone over the wall.
Yeah, looking to try and get behind them. Will have the Dragon Rage kick here as well. Kicks Ejim not towards Radiant. Lands the Sonic Wave there as well. Nice Monsoon, but in he goes. That was so well played by Carbon. The flash taunt from Minky tagged in one more time. In goes Carbon. Able to get out as well after Swiper made his way through. Now he has to back away. Radiant on 200 health.
Wally in the top. Oh, Swiffer.
That comes all the way through. Flashes over the wall. There's the wild growth. Knocks up Minky. Does eventually die. Swiper's going to fall as well. Legacy so far ahead. Double kill. They're melting on the side of the Chiefs as the Spooks, the last man up after Ejim's respawned, and we'll see whether he can survive the chase.
And this is a 4v5. Meanwhile, top lane, Spook's probably going to go down near the Dragon Pit, but Wally's just hitting the turret. He takes it down, another one falls, and they'll be able to collapse onto Dragon.
You can see Spook's hands off his keyboard. He's going to fall down here as Choo Choo's picks up the kill. 7-2, 7,000 gold to lead as we see this again.
So Ejim got tagged and it was just all Carbon. He was landing Sonic Wave after Sonic Wave, and Swiffer really did his best to outplay this situation, but there was just no one else there. Lands a fantastic little lance after dodging the arrow. The wild growth was even better, stopping the damage. But Claire was there and the rest of the team just with the continual damage output. No one was available because Radiant had gone so low. Swiper was out of the fight, and Legacy now with a 6,000 gold lead at 16 minutes in. The dream is still alive.
It most certainly is, Spawn. 4-1-2 for Minky Whale as well. This Shen starting to do some work. Now has the Ninja Tabi as well as the Sunfire Cape and, you know, a pretty cool rock and some t-shirt, something like that. Pretty great stuff here for Minky Whale. Ward's going to be cleared out by the Chiefs. They're just trying to hold on. This is not a situation they're used to being in. And this is the test that I wanted to see them pass if they were to take this series. As there's the taunt from Minky Whale. Looking for Radier. Trying to turn it around is the Lucian. Shadow Dash not going to be there. Yeah, everyone from every team is Carbon. Oh, the Sonic Wave not going to land. He's still trying to get in here. There's Ejim shielding him up. There's the kick. Monsoon's fantastic from Ejim.
There's no tier 2.
Yeah, the flash out of the way doesn't hit Radier. Yeah, there's another one. The shield one more time. Howling Gale is unbelievable. Ejim.
But once again, where is Wally? He's in the middle lane trying to take out another turret as Minky Whale teleports bottom.
I wish I could give you more time on that amazing Where's Wally call, but we're not going to be able to as he's getting some damage down onto Spooks. And there is pressure this whole time for Legacy.
They're just dragging them all around the map, chasing Radier off farm. As we said, if Lucian doesn't get into this game, there's just going to be no damage threat for the front line. And Minky's huge, and Radier is not.
No, he is not. But Swiper, now with that huge CS advantage, 2-1-0 with a Trinity Force. Is this how the Chiefs can get through this game? Is it on the back of the horse? Is the saddle big enough,
He's
Spawn?
just not tanky enough right now. He dives on the back line, they turn around and kill him. Chooser's been caught though.
Yeah, he's out of position. There's a devastating charge. Lots of damage.
And
Spooks
Minky
picks it
now
up.
maybe a bit of trouble.
He's pretty tanky at this stage.
Still the ultimate available out of Swiper. Does not want it. Turns around, backs away.
Well, Wally just going to clear out the mid wave. Maybe some respite bought by the Chiefs.
Big breaths.
Yeah. I'm just trying to compose myself here as well. Wonderful. Okay. Can the Chiefs hold on to this moment, though? They need to make sure that they slow this game down to avoid Legacy just running over them, because all of the momentum, despite how the first two games went, is now in the hands of Legacy, because they know they can do this. Carbon said it in his interview. He knows that he can take down this team. It is always a 50-50 in his eyes, and they have not taken their foot off the gas. Chiefs able to get their second turret to answer the 6 that Legacy have already picked up. Chiefs now finding small advantages around the rift.
And there is so much standing gold. The threat always is if you drop one of those team fights. The team fights that the Chiefs have been famous for just picking up out of nowhere. They want Baron this early in the game.
20
They're
seconds.
singing it out.
That's ridiculous. Rift Scuttler is now going to get taken down by Carbon. More vision. Sonic Wave Resonating Strike and a sealed deal on that one. Nice use of the piercing arrow there as Ejim was just trying to get some vision down for himself.
Spooks back. Teleport is available on to Swiper.
Carbon, it's like riding a bike, it seems, getting back on this Lee Sin. Been hitting everything that he needs to and playing with the combinations of abilities so fantastically as well. Waits for the Monsoon, then Resonating Strikes his way back in. Impressive play from the Legacy jungler.
Once again, you can see they want to flirt with the Baron idea this early in the game. They think that they can use it to generate a pick. There's a ward over the back end, so not going to pay off right now. Dragon's still a couple of minutes away. And the map is so far open.
Oh my goodness, Carbon. Reading the juke from Swiffer. In goes the Winter's Bite. Ejim walks back through, makes sure he gets the Monsoon onto as many people as he can, but in goes Wally and picks up the kill. Glacial Fissures down as well, piercing light onto Spooks. Oh, the flash from Swiffer was fantastic to avoid the all-in and possibly the turret take. We'll see whether he can clear out this minion wave, because still loads of members of Legacy. The Unbreakable from Claire one more time. Swiffer still with the wild growth. Might get picked off though, has to watch out for those piercing arrows. Oh my goodness, Carbon!
Oh, he stops himself as well on the ward.
Yeah, make sure that he baits out that wild growth Legacy on the turret. They are going to be able to take it down as Wally finishes that one. Spooks able to dodge the piercing arrow, and this damage from the barriers.
They need to get out, everyone is back.
Oh my flash! Gets the kill onto Spooks! 3-1-3 now for Choo Choos.
He's doing work.
So much work. as Wally now gets ignited by Ejim. Choo-Choo's actually back into the team. Swiper from the back line with the hero play, but he's going to die. Double kill for Radiant. Can he get any more? Little Ant's not going to be found here from Swiffer as he's trying to get the weird flank play happening. Claire,
Claire
down to 300
really
health.
low.
And is there going to be any more action? Man, Swiper buying the Chiefs some time and keeping their inhibitor alive.
So what did that all mean? They break the base. They still have a 7,000 gold lead. Chiefs able to fight back a little bit, get a couple of kills onto Radiant. He's still 50 CS down, but Swiper starting to build into that late game Hecarim. And Legacy, they can see the win in front of them, but there's still that little bit of a distance to travel before they get there.
It most certainly is. 6 seconds on this Dragon. It will be the first for the Chiefs, and they have the position around it. The rest of Legacy are collapsing. Don't know whether the Chiefs will have enough damage to finish it before Legacy arrive on the scene. Well,
Looks like they will be able to get it done.
Scrying Orb is there, and Spooks with the smite's going to secure that one. The first for the Chiefs. Carbon now looking to try and find his way in Minkuel as well, but slowed down by the barrel.
Top lane absolutely massive right now. Swiper heading up there to clean up all that farm. He's just getting further and further ahead as this game goes on.
And Claire just able to walk up to this inhibitor as well. It is very, very low.
They don't want to hit Claire right now. Oh.
Yeah, Unbreakable now off cooldown, but Wally, he's through lots of damage onto the in-head, turns around, last hit. And that is going to be Legacy taking down the first inhibitor of the game.
See what they can translate it into. They've built up so much pressure around the map. Potentially, once again, looking at that Baron.
Yeah, moving straight towards it.
There's no vision. They can set up for a pick.
Yep.
Chiefs
As you can see, map's pretty dark.
Spooks going for the face check. Creeps won't leave him alone.
Oh, there's the Chains of Corruption. Spooks is dead. Gets the explosive cask off, but that's all she wrote.
And they use nothing to grab him, just Chains of Corruption.
Oh, you can hear the crowd. They want more games here in this grand final. Legacy started it.
Double AD carry. They will melt it fairly quickly. Bottom wave is huge. Chiefs are going to lose something here, either a turret or the Baron.
Not a lot of damage here for this Baron as Legacy. They're keeping their attention on it. In goes Swiper with a massive fear.
Radiant.
But you can see there was the ultimate from Claire doing a whole bunch of work. Radiant so low. Swiper's going to die. Almost a double kill as Choo-Choo's is trying to get forward.
Back straight away.
Yeah, getting straight back onto that Baron. Everyone's very low. Carbon might actually die. Goes in with the smite. Wally Thacker's going to be able to pick it up. And even then, Claire turns around and kills Radiant. What?
So they said that Claire was playing like a mid laner.
Killing 80 carries, that's what he does.
And that damage out of choose, they back away finally. Minions on the inhibitor, Nexus turrets for the Chiefs. Swiffer on this Lulu.
They're trying to clean up their base now as the Chiefs just look like they're in disarray. 9,000 gold is the advantage for Legacy. And you can see, down in those player cams, Carbon, so serious. Definitely knows that this game is not over yet, even if it might look in the gold department to be pretty close for Legacy.
Yeah, certainly looks like they're getting to that stage of the game where they will just be able to brute force their way into the base. They have the two huge tanks, Lee Sin as well as Shen. Throw Braum in there as we take a look at the Baron. Swiper went in deep, but we said he's not tanky enough. Radiant gets chunked out, and they turn onto Swiper, delete him off the Rift, and from there, just turn around. Whilst Claire does Claire things, where he picks up a kill on the AD carry.
Not entirely sure how that happens, but Legacy setting up for another siege. Baroned up minions towards this top inhibitor. Piercing Light is going to be dodged by the Chiefs, but look at this poke.
Radiant gets tagged, has to back right away.
Yeah, in goes Spooks.
They're still taking the turret.
Yeah, tanks it for a while, but it looks like it's not doing too much work here as Legacy are going to be able to break the top lane.
Second inhibitor.
Yep, inhibitor under fire now as well. Minkuel tries to get him, but not going to find the taunt onto Radiant. Legacy take down the second inhibitor. And I don't want to jinx this situation, Spawn, but it looks like Legacy definitely in a commanding position this game.
Yeah, they certainly are, Atlas, and as they continue to move around the map, Teleport going to get that wave pushing even earlier. They want to finish it out nice and slow, tutorial style we call it.
Well, Carbon moving around, wanting to make sure that no Chiefs members were off on their own. Could kick them back in if he needed to. Radiant cleaning up some creeps as well.
But at this stage of the game, double AD just so strong. Claire once again in the front line. Third inhibitor going to go down.
Yeah, Wally actually knocked towards Swiffer, who has to use the wild growth and the flash, but he still dies to Minguel, who gets a double kill. Radiant's dead as well. Wally picks up the kill. We're going to game 4, ladies and gentlemen.
And Legacy absolutely exploding game 3. They've done it before. Going to be able to close that one out. Swiper goes in. It doesn't matter. And they're going to destroy the Nexus and take us to the game 4, Atlas.
Spooks is dancing, patting his belly on the fountain because he knows that he's been taken down in game 3. And this is the disaster for the Chiefs. This is where Legacy have been known to come back.
And this is when you start getting flashbacks.
Oh yeah, winter is coming.
And Mickey on Shen, what a different performance. Able to come out massive.
Steps away from the standard picks of Aurelia and Tahm Kench. Moves towards the unconventional Shen, and everything goes well. Who would have thought, Spawn?
Definitely not us.
Yeah, that is very true. Of course, it is Minguel, and you don't necessarily expect that. But my goodness, the Chiefs, they fall for the first time, 28 games in a row. Finally, Legacy have taken it, and it's the most important time, too.
It certainly is, and we've asked the question time and time again, how does EGIM lose in a Chiefs jersey? Because we've never seen them have to bounce back. We've seen close games. AV took them to the brink. Finally, Legacy tipped them over, and a series has been created out of what was a couple of decisive games at the start.
Getting less and less decisive as we move forward into Legacy's territory. This massive amount of pressure that they seem to just thrive in.
Yeah, it certainly has, but you got to give credit to the Chiefs. They're not the team they were last season when this was happening. They have matured. They've been overseas, competed in the IWCs. They've won another split between them. They definitely will have prepared for this. They weren't expecting to sweep. And I'm really excited to see how they come out in this game 4.
I think if you're going to win a game, win a series as the Chiefs, you need to prove that you can come back after a loss. And this is now their opportunity to do it. And there is no other way that I would want this series to go without the Chiefs first proving that they can lose a game and then come back and win.
Yeah, certainly is the deciding point right now. And everything on the table. This is for a shot at the IWC qualifier into the Worlds.
Yeah, it is all on the line, but we are going to throw it over to our analysts on the desk with pastry time.
Thank you very much again, Atlas and Spawn, and Legacy finally take a game. The Chiefs' undefeated run ends for now. Still have games to take, still plenty of play here, but this best of 5 is getting closer and closer to a best of 3 or best of 1. Crunch time now, gentlemen, as we look at the teams. Legacy almost feel like a completely different team.
It's just to reiterate what Atlas said twice in a row at the end of that game. Winter is coming, and 28 is not going to be a 29-0. It's 28-1. Legacy show that this Chiefs roster can bleed, and they do it in emphatic fashion.
It was just so aggressive. That was the biggest thing I wanted to look at. It's crazy to me, Rymeister. Talk to me a little bit about the team comps here, because Legacy seem to be getting more and more aggro as the games go on.
Yeah, definitely. As we saw from the Legacy comp, they moved towards the early mid-game comp with the Varus that spikes at 2-3 items, and with the Corki that spikes as soon as it has Triforce, and just team fight, skirmish, 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 skirmish. That's what Legacy did every time. And the Chiefs tried to match it for some reason with a 7k gold deficit at 20 minutes. I'm not sure what's going on with the Chiefs. They had the scaling game this game. Last game they didn't. They had the early game, so yeah, not sure.
Yeah, I mean, we have the graphic, I believe, of the team comp, so we can have a deeper look at what both these teams decided to bring to battle. You can see it looked like business as usual for the Chiefs, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, we were looking at the drafting phase and we were talking amongst each other and thought that this is the team comp that honestly the Chiefs would want to execute, and that is exactly what they got, which was quite scary. But Legacy, again, they play whatever they think they need at the time. It's nice to see a Shen, not a Tahm Kench, which is something that we said was a better version of Tahm Kench, so fantastic that they brought that one out. And Claire, he did play like a mid laner.
Claire.
He killed Rayder.
Yeah, he played pretty well, I have to be honest. Like, we talked about Carbon needing to step up, but Claire, what a game for him to have there as well. Alex, I'm curious to your thoughts. Like, we wondered what Claire was going to do. How was he going to show up? We definitely wanted Carbon to change up from the Nunu. What a different game for both those players.
Absolutely. We saw the weakness of Claire's roaming game in Game 1 on the Braum. That was that they wanted a comp that could stick together and farm, but the lane swap forced Claire to roam instead. In this game, they eventually got the advantageous 2v2. Wally Taka was off farming in the top lane, came back with a level advantage, and Claire was able to push him forward and win that lane.
I guess there's so many reasons to why that worked out so well for Legacy again, is that they did get the lane swap, and we saw it in the first game and we said, well, this is not good. Legacy don't want a lane swap. They've got Claire as a new support, and it was completely exploited by this Chiefs side, having the experienced support that they do have in Ejim. But they had a level-based AD carrying the top lane on Corki. He then went back to his own lane and just ruined Rayder's life.
He did. We have a first replay here just to kind of see how the early stages of this culminated. Alex, I want your thoughts here on the replay.
Okay, but before we start, I want to point out the top lane wave right now. Swiper is pushed up against his top tower. Legacy, as you said, they won the lane swap. They got that top tower down first, and Minky, he learned from his lesson as well. He didn't want to push in deep into that lane, and look, he's ready to ult. So we roll the clip now. We see that Wally Taka and Claire immediately, with that level advantage, dropping absolute bows on Radiant right here. He's slow. He can't fight anymore. And then the ult comes in from Minky. And at that point, it's just pure carnage. With the level advantage, with the Shen ult, there's nothing Chiefs can do in the bot lane.
And again, it's just nice. It's like refreshing almost to see Legacy sort of back to form. It's almost weird to see Carbon banning Elise and picking Elise in, but getting away with it. But it's a different Carbon. The Nunu's gone, hopefully, for the rest of the series.
Well, based off that,
yeah.
I don't want to see the Nunu again if he's going to win on Lee Sin. But you're right. I guess it's really weird to consider that he banned the Elise, but he picked the Lee Sin. And we think about this, right? It is 2-0 up to the Chiefs before this game actually started. They're in Game 3. Want to go back to comfort and do what works for you, and that's exactly what they did.
Yeah, I have to say, Carbon's Lee Sin was really impressive to me. The fact that he switched away from that more map control jungler into a skirmish-based jungler. And Lee Sin, what a brave pick, because Lee Sin is a champion that rides entirely on your mechanical ability. Carbon said he plays best in front of the crowds. He delivered.
Yeah, he did it. Rymeister, I'm actually curious to hear just a little bit more about the pick for you. Like, you mentioned how good Legacy can be in skirmishes. Was it Carbon for you that really brought that sort of element of the game to the forefront?
Yeah, it definitely was. However, like Chiefs were just picking really bad fights. You know, Legacy have the superior early game. Why would you bring the fight to them? That after 30 minutes, Chiefs will win, even with a 5k gold deficit. Their comp is just too good, it's all well-rounded, and Chiefs just kept making mistakes.
Yeah, Legacy were a time bomb, essentially, whereas Chiefs were this unbeatable team comp, essentially, but they lost that early game. They lost in the skirmishes, and again, in the point where Chiefs are exploitable, Legacy put that into effect, and that is exactly how they found a lead. Chiefs, as you mentioned, though, they kept trying to pick fights that shouldn't have happened, and then they ended up winning the game.
Yeah, with that, we have another replay here as well. And you can see that Legacy in this replay just starting to pile on the early advantage we saw from that Shen dive. So things are getting better and better for them. It's Rymeister. I want you to actually take a look at this replay and just tell me kind of your thoughts on what's happening here and how Legacy got to this point in the game.
Okay, as we roll this clip, we see that the Chief bot lane, they're so deep. They want to get the farm, they want to get back in the game. But what they should be doing is sitting on the turret, waiting for them to hit their power spikes. No, they're trying to keep bringing the fight, as we see here. Swiper goes in again. All they have to do is just back out and get the farm under turret, wait till they scale into the mid and late game and win from there.
Yeah, I guess Carbon was styling on them when this started, but most importantly, the rotation and the speed of how quickly they actually got to the fight was in favor of Legacy. The numbers advantage, Choo-Choo's getting there significantly earlier, and Spooks actually taking the long way past the Baron, the scenic route, to not actually get there in time to help his team. Was then a sitting duck to go down himself. And again, this Legacy team, when it comes to skirmishes, they excel. And as we just saw, that is exactly what they do.
And sort of my favorite part about the whole replay was just Wally Thacker hanging out while he's in the top lane. It's almost
Where's
like
Wally?
yeah, exactly. It's almost like you revisited some of his old like top lane antics, like solo lane pushing, sign me up team. And he was doing that a lot this game.
We've got quite the strange team going on with Legacy. We got Claire as a support playing like a mid laner, Wally Thacker as an AD carry playing like a top laner, but it seems to work for them. This is their comfort zone, and hopefully they can push it through in Game 4 as well.
I think most importantly, it's a comfort zone, but it's also an adaptation to what they know and work. So Claire being that carry support is something we're not often used to expecting, but it is exactly what he's delivering. And of course, Tallywacker, like split pushing, is just going to continue to do that all day.
Yeah, we'll have to see here. We do have another replay. Rusty, it's now you I want to turn to for this one. That Baron fight that we saw. What is going on here?
So this is one of the pivotal moments, essentially, for this game. The lead was well and truly in place for Legacy, about a 7,000 gold leaders. We'll roll this one through, and Swiper, he tries really hard to steal this Baron away. He comes in, uses the ultimate, hits all of the targets, but nobody actually is going to die from it. Radier takes a bit of damage from Varus there, aka a lot of damage from the Varus. And then the rest of Chiefs, they're basically left in shambles. They have no way to respond to this Baron that has still maintained its low health bar. Legacy continue to do it, of course, Carbon using the smite early. Swiffer having a little bit of an eye in there at a potential steal. But Legacy just reigning supreme. As apparently Claire like solo killing Radier whilst it's all happening.
I double checked. I couldn't see what happened, but I'm pretty sure he just flashed at him and hit Ignite. Because he was low enough health. But that is a mid laner instinct, right, Master? I'm sure that never goes away.
Yeah, you know, if you can pick up a kill, why not? Doesn't matter if you're support. You get the gold. True.
I'm sure that's how Claire feels. You're a mid laner too, weren't you?
You can't argue
What
with
is
it.
this?
300 gold? Yes, please.
And Radier, to me, he was maybe the thing that we have to look at for the Chiefs. Carbon and Claire played amazing, don't get me wrong, but the bottom lane for Chiefs, Ejim and Radier, this impenetrable force. Manasir, I'm curious to see what you think here. We talked about Radier at the start of our segment here. This was a very poor game for those two players.
Yeah, and this is uncharacteristic of Radier. He's picking fights he shouldn't go for, but a lot of that is also on the team comp. We said it was the Juggalution comp, right, with the Janna and the Lulu. He was set up to be the front line of Chiefs, to draw attention and then let Swiper clean up. In this game, he was playing like he was a Jinx. He's probably his second best champion is Jinx. He was playing in the back line, afraid to go in, and the times that he finally had a chance, it was too late. The gold lead was too big.
Yeah, awkward stuff there, but a great win for Legacy. So we'll see if we're going to force another Titanic fifth game, or are Chiefs going to eke it out 3-1 and make Alex there very happy. We'll go back to Atlas and Spawn on the casting desk in the big top to find out.
Thank you very much, Pace.